What's up, guys? We are back for another Mythic Legions review. Of course, we're taking a look at the first, as far as I'm concerned, true goblin today, not a woodland goblin like Thistlethorn. We're taking a look today at GONXX, and goblins are a big focus. Goblins are something that a lot of folks are really interested here, so I'm very excited to take a look at this little guy. You can see him there in the same collector-friendly packaging that we have throughout this line. He's in the window. We've got a bio for GONXX on the side, and then on the back we've got that same style artwork that we see throughout the Advent of Decay line. So let's pull this little dude out and take a look. Alright guys, so here is GONXX out of the package, and I can tell you right off the bat, I fully understand why the goblins have been so eagerly awaited, because this is a really fun figure. We're going to, of course, do articulation first. There's not a great deal to talk about, so I'm going to kind of breeze through it, but there is one thing to discuss, and it's mostly surrounding why his head is so far forward. So I'm assuming that the Horsemen decided that this guy needed to have a bit of a lurched or hunched appearance, and to do that, what they did was they put a different type of head connector onto the shoulder. So he doesn't have a standard neck that sits straight up. He's got one that actually pushes forward. So there's like a disc that sits on top of the shoulders, and it rotates. But then it also leads to a ball that goes forward, and it actually affords quite a range of motion because there's nothing in the way there. So he goes all the way around, up and down, side to side, and you can rotate pretty much all the way around, but you're gonna hit the shoulders eventually. So he does have a wide range of motion at the head, and I do like what they did to make him look like this. You know, it's a goblin. He's supposed to be kind of weird. They have odd physiology, anatomy. So it's an interesting system. So far, I've seen the test shot for King Noglin. That was the first goblin I got a hold of. He's not like this, so they're probably not all like this. He is a fully armored goblin, so he is a little different in that regard. But I like it. I think it's cool. Arms go out, swivel all the way around. I do have tight joints on this guy again, just like with Thistlethorn, the first figure that I reviewed. I'm not too surprised. It's just worth noting. We've got elbow swivel and hinge. There is forearm swivel, wrist swivel, wrist hinge. We have a waist twist. He goes back and forth only a little bit, but he swivels all the way side to side. Legs go all the way out, kick forward, kick back. You have a thigh cut. You have a knee rotation and hinge. There is a rotation at the ankle, rocker, and of course hinge down there as well. There are some painted joints on this guy. You can see we've got some paint on the table right now. I'm not too surprised by that. It's pretty standard for Mythic Legions that some joints will be painted, so just keep that in mind. You might see a few flakes here and there. But honestly, I'm not sure which one it came off of because I'm having a hard time finding it. It came off, and that's about it. So it's worth noting, but I don't think it's really a negative. I think he moves pretty well for a fully armored goblin, and I like what they did with that neck. It's a little different, it's kind of weird, but it works really well. Now, as far as the paint and the sculpt on this guy, I mean, it's obvious. It's amazing. There's just no way to say it otherwise. It's a fantastic looking action figure. I don't need to tell you that. If you have Mythic Legions, you know what to expect. Again, this guy does have some parts reused. I know for sure that the chest is the same as some of the dwarves use. I know we've seen these gauntlets before, I believe. Same with the hands. It's not a big deal. I mean, he very much looks similar, but at the same time, his paint scheme is wild, and it makes everything look different. So we've got what looks to be kind of a red, rusty type color. It's almost as if he's wearing old armor. I'm obviously not sure of that, but that's certainly what it looks like to me. It looks like he has seen battle. We've got nicks and scrapes and gouges all over his armor, and it looks like he's seen battle. It looks like he is patinaed a bit. And I think in general that he just looks fantastic. I like the furry loincloth that he's got down here. I really like the boots on this guy. I like the style of this boot for a goblin. I think it's pretty cool. It matches the gloves. Everything has, this kind of rusty wash over top of it. It just makes it stand out. It makes the already fantastic sculpt look even better. He, of course, has all the requisite ports for the adapters, for wings, and any other bits and bobs you want to throw in there. We've got his humongous ears that are popping out, and then you've got, the head, which is definitely the defining characteristic on this little guy in particular. And we'll get in real close, take a look at it. So I've already mentioned that we've got the ears that pop out. You can see a lot of that paint job on this particular helmet. It very much looks old and battle-worn. This spike on the top of it is actually a removable piece. It comes in the accessory bag. I've already popped it on just to show you. And You don't have to have it, but otherwise you have a hole sticking out. So I'm going to use it. I think it looks pretty cool. We've got this humongous mouthpiece on him, and it's not removable. As far as I know, he doesn't have a fully sculpted face under there. I'm sure it's not. And you can only just barely see, you know, his eyes peeking out of there. I think he looks pretty awesome this way. I don't know if I had the option. I don't know if I would take that off anyway. He very much looks the goblin part, but at the same time, you know, you would not want to mess with this guy. And I think the overall appearance from the neck up on this figure is really striking, and it's definitely the key aspect of this particular figure. Now, as far as accessories go for this guy, he of course has quite a handful. He comes with all the requisite kind of basic stuff. So we've got like our adapters for his back to put wings and stuff on him, because, you know, if you want to put wings on your goblin, or if you want to put the sheath around his waist so you can have the belt with a sword in it, and that sword would be this sword. We've seen these all the time in Legions. It's one of the basic swords. It's got black hilt, silver blade with some of that rusted patina paint job on it, so that's pretty cool. He does, of course, have a bit of a different look right now, and that's because I have put the pauldrons on him. So he comes with 2 pauldrons, just like most of these figures do, if not all. And I'm a sucker for these. I usually always use them at least one. And these look particularly menacing. They have that same style of rusted paint job all over it. He benefits from the jutted out neck and head really well, because you can see he has a lot of clearance even with these pauldrons on, so I'm really happy with that. They make him look even more hulking and beefy than he already did, and even though he's a 5-ish inch figure, he looks very imposing in general, but these just kind of kick it up a notch a bit. He does come with 2 other accessories. He comes with this big warhammer, and you know, when I was talking about the fact that he shares parts with the dwarves, particularly Halmir Golden Tooth, because that's the one I have messed with most recently, this is the same hammer that he comes with. It's the same thing. It's got the little removable end part. You can take this off and put it on if you wanted to change it up a bit. And it's got a similar style of rusted paint job on it, but it's not exactly the same. It's a little different. It's not as orange. It's kind of bronzish almost. I like it. I dig the hammer, but this is definitely going to be the weapon of choice for me. So we've got a flail here, and it of course has a real metal chain. It's got the same type of patinaed rusted paint job. This is very much a goblin type of weapon as far as I'm concerned, and he can hold all of this stuff in both hands just fine. His hands are a little tight, but you can get him in there no problem. But yeah, I'm a sucker for a metal chain, and yeah, they included one, so there's no way I'm not going to use it. So overall, I'm pretty happy with my first entry into this wave of goblins. I was really looking forward to these, and they definitely have lived up to my expectations so far. Everything from sculpt to paint to the weapons, just to the general look of this guy is excellent. I'm really happy with him. And I think that's going to be a theme with most of these figures. You know, I have yet to encounter any true QC issues except for a stuck joint here or there, and that's not too uncommon with any figure. So I'm really happy with these. I think he looks very imposing. The paint job on this guy is just out of this world. It makes everything stand out, and I'm really looking forward to building these goblin ranks, and he is a great start to that. So that's going to do it for this look at the Mythic Legion's Advent of Decay GONXX figure from 4 Horsemen. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.